Hello. I thought I'd come in the group to talk about Bealtaine, which the fixed day of Bealtaine was yesterday. But we've got all week to enjoy the Bealtaine Energy because it's actually astrological Bealtaine on the 5th of May. So I wanted to come in to talk a little bit more about Bealtaine for those who are interested in that and how it relates to earth energy, mythology, esoteric knowledge, all those kind of things. So Bealtaine is one of the 8 Celtic or pagan festivals. I mean, paganism really isn't, necessarily a thing. It was the word you really used by the Romans to describe anyone who didn't follow their faith. So it basically means, somebody who's not of that. So, but it's one of the sort of Celtic festivals, the Scottish and Irish tradition, how we have this wheel of the year, this Celtic wheel that circulates around, and obviously there are 8 festivals within that wheel, Bealtaine being one of them, and it's one of the fire festivals. So we have May Day bonfires, and these were lit. Well, I used to live in Ireland, as I say, when I was a kid, and there were still Bealtaine bonfires about when I was a kid, and other weird things that we used to get up to. Dressing the piper's bush. So these are hawthorn bushes that were often on what were called fairy ring forts, which were ring forts, or on top of hills, piper's bushes they were called, and we would dress those with flowers. Sometimes occasionally people would burn them, which harks back to really ancient times. So Bealtaine, we celebrate at the moment Bealtaine, we celebrate it on normally the fixed day, which was yesterday, May Day, May the 1st. But astrological Bealtaine is on the 5th of May this year. So that's when the astrological event occurs out there in space. So May Day is it's one of these 8 festivals of the Celtic Wheel. And it's a fire festival, and it's the equivalent. Bealtaine in the spring is the equivalent of Samhain in late 31st of October, what we now consider to be Halloween. It's one of those days where people say the veils between the worlds are thinnest. I don't ever think there's ever a thick veil between the worlds, from my perspective anyway. But it's a really powerful festival because our life grows in the same way that life grows in nature. So at the spring equinox, this was about sort of things starting to emerge, new shoots of life in our own life. What was starting to emerge? What were our heart's desires? Were we nurturing those things? And now we reach Bealtaine. This is about stepping out of our comfort zone. Nature at this point of year takes all sorts of risks. It throws out flowers, it throws out shoots, it puts itself out there regardless of how it's going to be trampled on, predated, eaten. It knows that in its best interest to survive, it has to give it all it's got. So in our own life, this is the time where we want to be leaning into our potential. We want to be taking risks, pushing ourselves to step through our comfort zone, to nurture those new bits of our life that we want to see emerge, that we want to see grow, that we want to reach a harvest, reap a harvest from later in the year. That might be in your relationships, it might be in your health, it might be in your wealth, it might be in some just sort of hobby or interest that you really want to pursue. But now is the time to sort of sit there and think, am I leaning into that? Am I taking risks to make that happen, to bring it into being, to nurture those growths? Am I tending those shoots? It's the time to ask yourself, if you're holding yourself back, it's the time to think the risk of holding myself in this bud outweighs the risk of letting this blossom of my potential out there in the world. The risk of staying in the bud now outweighs the risk of allowing yourself to blossom, to open up to your full potential, to express your inner desires and to go after them, to stop holding yourself small. Because a bud that doesn't open this time of year is only going to wither away, and you're not going to produce any flowers, it's not going to be pollinated, there's not going to be any harvest from that, it's not going to bear fruit. So the risk of staying in the bud right now outweighs the risk of doing things you're scared of. Outweighs the risks of it outweighs it. Really, now is the time to let yourself go. It's about being at this time of year calls us to step into our sovereignty, to own our full potential. It allows us to be guided by our intuition, which is the divine feminine. We're moving into, we've moved into now the Giamos, what's called the bright half of the year, because the sun is returning. The sun has returned, the masculine. But through the winter months, we were led by our intuition. What were my deepest heart's and soul's desires? What did I want to see emerge in my life? And now you've still got time to go, is that what I'm following? Is that what I'm creating? Or am I staying safe? Am I creating more of the same life I've already had that didn't serve me? So these energies are really important. They're not just about what's happening out there in the natural world. It's our guide for living. It's our guide for living a purposeful, joyful, value-filled life. And how you express that is entirely up to you. For some people that will be, I don't know, my let's say somebody's goal would be to create, I don't know, multi-million-pound empire that's gonna, I don't know, help the environment. And somebody else might be, well, I'm just happy if I get to live in my nice little cottage in the woods and I want to raise my own sheep and make my own wool from them. That's their idea of value and a joyful filled life. How you express that is down to you. So you to decide what makes you happy. But there is this, living with the Celtic Wheel enables us to meet where we are at each phase, to understand what has led us to this point and what kind of phase of energy we're moving into, so we can maximize that energy for our own benefit. And that way we live in accordance. It's like a guide for being, accordance with the natural cycles of things. So right now, as I say, we're being called into this sovereignty to listen to our intuition. What is your deepest soul and heart's desire for your life? What is it that you want from it? And are you bringing that into being? So it's about, in the dark half of the year, I said, we're led by your intuition. In the winter, we might feel everything's in the darkness, so we might feel disenchanted. We're shut in homes. Maybe it's a place we don't like living. Maybe we're shut in with people we don't like living with. Maybe we think, I go to work in the dark, I come home in the dark, and I don't like this job. Now is the time. That's when your intuition, those are all signs that something is amiss, And now we're moving into the light half of the year. So it's about being led by your intuition, by your soul's calling. And your soul's calling it's normally quite easy to recognise, actually. People overcomplicate it. But if you've had something that you've always felt called to do, an idea that's never left you, maybe it was be an author, maybe it was be a healer, maybe it was be a poet, whatever it was. If you've had that idea for something and it has lasted years and years and years and never left you, and it keeps coming back round and like a little wistful whisper, that is your soul's telling you to follow that intuition. So in the dark half of the year, we have to sit in this painful uncomfortableness of our intuition, our soul's desire. We have to look at and feel the discrepancy between the actuality of our life and what we want. And now we're moving into the dark half of the year, so it's the return of the light, the masculine action-taking energy. So Bealtaine is a call to arms. It's a call to take action. What growth and new life has emerged with the spring equinox? What action can you take so that that bud blossoms out there in the world? You don't yet have to know what reward's going to come from it. You don't yet have to know what form that harvest is going to take. Leave that open to the universe. But now is the time to say, oh my God, this is what my soul's desire of. We're already in May. We're already kind of hurtling through the year. I need to take action on this. I need to take risks. I just need to go out there and show everybody my potential, what I've got. I need to look at the things I want to enhance. I need to think, what is it I want from my life? How do I want to be treated? What kind of family environment do I want? What do I want from my friendship group? What do I want from my career? What action can I take to bring that life into three-dimensional form so that it is not sat at the end of my wish list again at the end of the year when I think, here I am again in exactly the same place. I'm not moving forward. You don't move forward unless you take action. And working with the spirit of things, whether it be the spirit of your home, the spirit of your business, the spirit of your hobby, whatever it may be, you're then being led by your soul, because your soul and it work together. Your soul is always your leader. Strategy is a poor leader. Even in business, we are led by our soul, And the steps that we take is the strategy that we employ to get that vision into 3D form. So you may have a vision that you want to be a writer and you want to produce great books. And you can see these books, but they've not yet come into form. Well, then your action is to enrol on a writer's course. That is the strategy that it would take to bring that reality into 3D form. You know, I'm not happy with my weight or my fitness. Your vision is to have a fit and active you. The strategy that you need to employ is to enrol on a fitness class or to employ a personal instructor to get you fit. That's the strategy that you would employ. So right now, Bealtaine is that call to take those risks. Join that gym class that you're embarrassed about. Sign up to that writing course, even if you think, oh my God, my writing's going to be hopeless. Staying in the bud outweighs the risks of blossoming at this time of year. That all the nature, look at it, it's throwing open its petals, it's throwing open its flowers, because chances are it will be pollinated. Chances are something good is going to come out of it, but it's never going to be pollinated and never going to bear fruit if it doesn't open that flower. So I sound like I'm lecturing a bit this morning, but this is what Bealtaine Energy is all about. Staying in the bud outweighs the risks of opening a blossoming. So go out there this week. So we've got the full moon on Friday, which is all about letting go, the end of phases. It's about forgiving where you were before, forgiving your mistakes, forgiving past people. It's all about letting it go. It's all about taking stock. Where am I in life? That's what full moons are for. It's sort of seeing where you were 6 months ago and also where you want to be in 6 months' time. We've also got the meteor shower. There's the Eta meteor shower that occurs on Friday, the night of Friday the 5th through Friday the 5th to Friday the 6th, that night in between. So there's going to be lots of energy going on in the atmosphere as this meteor shower goes out. That's going to interfere with electromagnetic imbalances, fields of the earth. So Bealtaine is a phenomenal time to either find activate the power centre in your own home, because every home has one, and spend some time out in nature to start with, because look how it's just going, hey, look at me. It's not worrying about, I've got loads of bluebells in my front garden. Each bluebell is not comparing itself to the bluebell next to it. It's going, oh, that bluebell's far more beautiful than I. And what can I possibly contribute to this thing of bluebells? Or no one's going to notice me, so I may as well not bloom. They're not doing that, are they? Just going, hey, and up they come. So it's that kind of energy. So spend some time in nature. Spend some time talking to the spirit of your home and activating that power centre, and get really, really clear on what is it you want to achieve, and make sure you're nurturing the parts of your life that you want more of, because remember, energy flows where focus goes. So if you're focused on lack, you're focused on negativity, you're focused on difficulty, you will manifest more of the same thing. So be grateful for your house, even if it's not your dream house, even if it's not the circumstances you would want to be living in. Be grateful for everything. And say, make it clear to the universe, I'm ready for new things. I can handle it. Whatever comes my way, it's because I'm ready. If it comes my way, it's because I'm ready for it. It has found me. What is right for you will find you. But it's important to be able to recognise that and move forward. It's a big skill in life, actually, being able to recognise what bridges to burn and what bridges to cross. But Bealtaine invites us now to, launch out, cross those bridges, blossom, come out the bud, show everybody what our potential is, follow our intuition and take action. Bealtaine is really, it's like a call to arms, it's a call to action. Go out there, show the world your brilliance, your beauty, and be absolutely authentically you. And what will come to you, what's meant for you will come to you. That could be money, better relationships, whatever it is. But until you're your absolutely authentic self, the good things don't come. And this is what Bealtaine Energy is all about in our personal lives. This is what happens out there in nature. Every plant, every tree, every species is being as much of it as itself it can be. No bluebell is filled with self-doubt. No birds are raising their offspring going, oh, I wonder if this is the right thing to do. Just go for it. That's what Bealtaine Energy is all about. So that's what I really wanted to come in and say. So I'm doing an in-depth Bealtaine training with my Genesis group this afternoon, so that's going to be really fun. So thank you very much for watching. I would love to hear your comments on what is budding in your life at the moment, what is about to flower, and what do you want to see emerge. So that's a little guide to the sort of Bealtaine energy. And as I say, I'll be doing more with my my Genesis group this afternoon at 2. So we'll be going a bit more in depth into Bealtaine energy and a bit more intelligent questioning for them to see what is emerging in their life at the moment and what they need to focus on. So I will go now. Oh, hi, Lindsay. And I will see you all again very soon. I'll see you later, Lindsay, hopefully at 2 p.m. in the Genesis group. So take care, everybody, and I will see you soon.